Hi everybody, it's Harley Girl here, and today I'd like to talk to you about something that's not easy to talk about. Uh, you know, it's about protection. It's about sun protection, and it's about, everything we got to do to keep our ride enjoyable, and something that I got diagnosed with, and I'd like to share that story with you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more interesting stories. Today is a beautiful spring day here in southwestern Ontario, Canada. Temperature today of 78 degrees. It's beautiful. There's a slight breeze, nothing too serious. Blue skies and grass is green. I'm at the park here in the RV and it's just a beautiful day and I'd like to share it with you. So come along with me now and listen to my story. I recently survived melanoma on my nose, the deadliest form of skin cancer. For me, it started out as just a small spot, like a freckle. Just a freckle, just a spot. I ignored it. I have freckles. It's a sunspot. It's a freckle. And it didn't change rapidly. It was a slow process. Years. I was covering it up with makeup at that time, and I knew it was time to get it checked. And yeah, so they did the biopsy, and of course I had to have stitches. So I was really worried about scarring. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't even healed. And the results came back and said, it's melanoma, it's stage 2, we need to get in there. It's a very sneaky cancer. Melanoma is all happening underneath the skin. So although the symptoms are most of the time, like mine, not even noticed. However, underneath there's roots and it's just like a claw and it's just digging its way around in there. So here I go for my first surgery, and because it's my nose, I had to have a plastic surgeon and a donor site. So the donor site they marked up on my cheek, close to my ear, for possible skin grafting, depending on how far down it was going to be and what they would see, because with melanoma, although the surface shows melanoma and the biopsy shows melanoma and what stage it's at, they still need to see how far down it is. So in my case, I had to have a plastic surgeon stand by with the surgeon who was removing it, just in case I needed a skin graft. And thankfully, so thankfully, I was so grateful when I found out that I didn't need the skin graft. So you are awake, your face is totally frozen, there's a mask over your face, you can't see anything. Just your nose obviously is exposed for them to do what they need to do. So I agreed to have students stand by on my first surgery, and yeah, it was horrible because they were explaining everything they did, and I didn't like that at all. But at least I knew what was going on. So on standby, I just kept waiting and waiting. It was brutally long, as with anybody who has test. It's just a roller coaster of emotions. And anyway, so the test came back, and yes, they had to go back in again. And at this point, it'd been probably close to 5 weeks. So my stitches were out at this time, and my nose was starting to look not too bad. It was healing. It looked like a little bit like hamburger, but it was doing okay. I was all right with it. For the most part, I got through that. And like I said, so here I am going for my second surgery. And at this point, they're a little worried because the plastic surgeon tells me they have to dig a little deeper, and they're hoping at this point they don't have to touch cartilage. And what happens with that is plastic surgeon lets you know that your nose is only cartilage. There's no bone there. So if they got to start cutting through cartilage, it definitely means a rhinoplasty surgeon, which is a whole new nose. So they do give you that to let you know they don't know until, again, they open up. But I'm going to be awake for it, so I'm going to know what's going on. I'm just going to be froze again. But just this whole ordeal is just, like something surreal to me. So anyway, I go again for the second operation where they, again, like the slice has got to be half my nose because they got to go in farther, and they just want to open it up so that they can be sure that they don't have to touch the cartilage, that they're only, working with the skin at this point. But anyway, not to get into too many details, 2 surgeries later, when I go back to get my stitches out, I get the good news that they basically have it all, and my follow-up checkup is in 6 months, which is coming up here shortly, and hopefully it stays that way. So I was fortunate, very, very, very fortunate, but now I ride differently. I wear a full face helmet now more often. I use sunscreen. I cover up because no ride is worth risking your life. So I said to my doctor, this is really odd because I'm not a sun worshiper. I don't go to the beach. I mean, the only time I'm out all day in the sun is when I'm riding. And I have, you know, sunscreen on and I wear a neck gaiter and I pull it up over my face. I have a bandana. I cover my nose. Like, this is just absurd. And I said, I have a visor that comes down over my nose. And I just, it's just something that I had a really, really hard time accepting. I couldn't get past that point that I don't expose myself to the sun. But again, it comes from the past. So, basically just sharing my story, because if you're a rider, check your skin, protect your face, don't wait. No ride is worth risking your life over. When we ride, we expose ourselves to more than just the elements. We expose ourselves to real risk that go beyond the road. I was just, like I said, mine just started out as a little spot. And, when I found out what it was, the word hit me like a punch to the gut. I ride to feel alive, and suddenly, I felt like this was another thing I couldn't do if I was going to be out in the sun all day. Anyway, now I ride with a new kind of awareness. I wear sunscreen all the time, full face or a half helmet. I'm always applying it, and I check my skin often. So here's my message to every rider out there. Don't wait. That sunburn you got on your face last summer, that tan line that seems harmless, it's not worth the risk. And for those of you that want to learn about a different kind of skin cancer, UCM Pigs, here's the link. And I'll also put it in the description. He actually encouraged me to share my story. Just one person's story can help somebody else. And I just thought, if I could share this and, just make one person aware that, So protect your face. Get that sunscreen. Put it in your saddlebag. Reapply. I know there's even spray-ons, so you don't have to worry about, the gooky fingers after you put it on your face, putting your gloves on. But whatever you got to do, protect yourself. Life's just too short, and the sun is very strong. It's always on us. Thank you for joining me today. Bye for now.